Welcome to the Undefining Beauty Podcast, a space to invite more beauty into our lives. I am Andrea Belluzzo, and on this podcast, I will have some very special guests and friends of mine to explore what beauty could be that we have not yet considered. So welcome everybody, and today I'm so excited to have my dear friend, Mr. Pol Kerni, and he'll tell us a little bit about himself in the beginning, and then we'll have this conversation on the topic of undefining beauty and see what it is for you, Paul. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here, Andrea, and thank you for inviting me. So my name is Pol Kerni, and I'm European Director with Access Consciousness and also a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness. And I've also qualified as a tai-chi, yoga, and meditation teacher. And I love just traveling the world, facilitating classes on consciousness, opening up the world to more. Nature is a big thing for me, and I'm excited to step into this space of undefining beauty.
Yeah, thank you so much, Paul, and really, really big thank you for having you here. And the one question that I would like to ask you to start with, and then let's see where this takes us, is something that I perceive in you every time I meet you. Whether it's on Zoom like now or whether it's in person, and but it's always that energy of you, of being such an invitation, and your kindness that just is like immense, and the beauty about you that I receive is the beauty of your being, and it's that beauty that, according to Gary, beauty is receiving everything without judgment, projections, and expectations. And it's really this that I'm receiving from you, and that I think all of us are receiving from you, is the beauty of your being. So what would you have to say about that?
Wow. Yeah. I wish I was without judgment, but I have
we also have the judgment. None of us is perfect.
Yeah. I can safely say I've got lots of judgment. So how does it get any better than that? And I think it's actually not making the judgments greater than who we be. And thank you for that beautiful acknowledgement. It's like we are so powerful. We are so potent. We're just this incredible beings on the planet. And we make ourselves less when we try and look through the eyes of this reality. So I've just come back from a class in Houston with Mr. Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and Dane here, the co-creator, and Simone Molasses, the other co-creator of Access Consciousness. And it was called the 9 Trannies, and it's about magical abilities that we have to change anything. But one of the topics that came up on it was looking through the eyes of this reality. And when you look at anything through the eyes of this reality, it's always going to be limited, and there's always going to be judgment in it. So I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm straight, I'm gay. It could be anything, any definitions. I'm Catholic, you're Protestant. And it's like, you'll notice that they're all divisions and they're all judgments. And like, if we see, as you were saying at the start of the show, if we see ourselves as the beauty of the being, where there is no definition, where it's like you just see the person for who they be and what they be in the world and what they're looking to create. Like we were just talking about your project in Mexico, and it's like incredible the things that people are creating and how we judge them rather than actually acknowledging, wow, everything is open to us. This is infinite possibilities. I get to create my life in this 10 seconds. What can I choose now? And what beauty can I choose now?
Yes, so true. Thank you for that. Really big thank you. And also the thing that, none of us is perfect, and we will still go into judgment. The thing for me that showed up is that whenever I catch myself judging myself or someone else or something else, is actually that awareness of like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I've been judging judgment. Yeah. Because otherwise we tend to go in this spiral of judging for having been judgmental, and it keeps going round and round and round in a loop, and you don't get out of it. So it's actually not for me at least, it's not a thing of being perfect and not judging or removing all judgment, but actually catching yourself when you're judging and going straight to the question rather to the conclusion of being judgmental.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. And it's like we've had 4 trillion years of being like reincarnated time after time after time after time, or whatever you choose to believe for yourself. Even if we just take this lifetime, it's going to be a lot of judgments, but it's actually allowing yourself to be greater than the judgments. It's allowing you to be greater than everything. It's like allowing you to step into what you truly know, because there is infinite possibilities available. I'm just back from London. I got back yesterday, and we'd started this project a couple of months ago as a kind of mental health initiative, really as a gift to people, where we started running bars, so access consciousness bars. We started delivering it in parks in London, so public parks in London. So literally we would just rock up with 4 or 5 gravity chairs, massage tables, and start running bars. And like the feedback has been just off the charts. Like we had 70 people there on Sunday, and like even as we were going, there was still people coming up looking for more information. And it's like there's a worldwide pandemic of, I'd say, stress, anxiety, all the different things that are going on. But there's also, on the flip side of that, there's new possibilities, new spaces, new things opening up that we never thought possible. And it's such an expansive and exciting time to be on the planet. And it's our choice. It's like, as my good friend Katerina Wallington says, do you feed the black wolf or do you feed the white wolf? And it's like, which one do you choose to feed?
Yeah, true story. And when you talk about infinite possibilities, I wonder what shows up for you, because I see something, but I'm not really sure what it is, about infinite possibilities and the beauty of it as well.
Yeah, it is. For me, I think there's beauty in everything, and it's how we look at it. And it's like, when we look through the eyes of this reality, it's going to be limited in some way or defined in some way. And when we choose to look through our own eyes and actually know what we know, we can see the beauty of every moment, every interaction, every small gesture. And how often do we not acknowledge it? Like the kindness that somebody is to us, or the space that they hold for us. And it's like, when we actually acknowledge that and acknowledge what we're creating in the world, it creates more beauty. And whether that's in art, whether that's in fashion, whether that's in design, whether that's with friends, it could be anything. It's like, what do you desire your life to be like?
That's amazing. And you really hit the nail on the head there, because I mean, what you're talking about actually is undefining everything, trying to define everything that is, whether it is, like you said, friendships or business or an object or whatever it is. And that's when you actually can receive it. So Thank you so much for that. And another thing is that, could you talk a little bit about relaxation and creation, and how we can create more beauty around us with that? Because whenever I see you, you're super relaxed. No matter what's going on, you're still very relaxed, and you're very you're an invitation to relaxation, at least, which is more than I can say for most people. And for me, that is part of your beauty as well. So could you say something a little bit more about that, relaxation and beauty and creation? And
if you don't have a fixed point of view, anything can show up in any which way, and it can open up into the most beautiful of spaces. And it's like, when we take fixed points of view, or when we go to conclusion of, this is the right way it should be, this is the wrong way it should be, this is the good way it should be, and this is the bad way it should be, then we've gone into conclusion about what it should look like. And it's like, when we do that, we make it right or we make it wrong. And what usually happens is we make something right, we make ourselves wrong, and we end up going into judgment rather than actually acknowledging the beauty of every moment. And like, every moment, every breath of wind, every movement. Like, I remember we were chatting earlier on about Tai Chi. I remember when I started Tai Chi, I was around 23, and I was doing Tai Chi in a room, and there's a big glass window, and I saw winds blowing through barley. and just see the color of the barley change. And it was,
wow.
Yeah, but it was just incredibly beautiful. And it was like, there was such a synchronicity for me between the winds, the barley, the tai-chi, everything in movement. And I was like, wow, that's the way the world can be when we actually let go of the judgments and step into a space of receiving. We can receive everything.
Wow. Beautifully put.
Yeah.
I mean, just that is, amazing. My God, this is just like so expansive in the way to put these things. I think that everybody watching this actually can perceive that yummy energy. And so what you're talking about, is it actually that the world is a huge playground that we can explore all the time? Is that really what the adventure of being alive is, and seeing the beauty in everything? Is it that simple?
Yeah. Could it be that simple? Yeah. I'm getting realizations myself, Andrea. I was like, dear Paul, note to yourself, you're making life a lot more difficult than it needs to be. And it is that beauty. It's like when we just let go of the need really to be right. It's like you can be right or you can be free, and just step into that and say, wow, okay, what's possible here? And also, there are no problems. How often are we educated, I would say, that it's like there has to be problems, you have to solve the problems, and then you'll be a good boy or you'll be a good girl. Rather than
judgment again.
yeah, completely. Rather than what's actually the possibilities here. And it's like, what's the space of true creation that we can be that will actually create more for everybody?
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, I started relaxing finally after over a year of total stress. 10 days ago, I chose to no, this doesn't work for me anymore. Creating drama, stress, receiving it, making myself a victim or whatever, that does not work for me anymore. And I just, basically, it was just a choice to, relax now, just chill.
Yeah.
And from the moment that I made that decision, first of all the possibilities started opening up. Projects that I've been working for years, all of a sudden start evolving, opening up. Yeah. Investors coming in, buyers coming in, information. It's just like non-stop. And then whenever as you say, shit hits the fan, which it does sometimes, I almost laugh at it. I have no point of view. It's just like, oh wow, look at that. Oh, that message. Oh, that's too funny. And that's it.
Yeah.
And like you say, there are no problems. It's just really our point of view. And I wonder how much more this call in particular is going to contribute to more people actually choosing that. Because like I said before, you're such an invitation to this. And so glad to have you on this podcast that just perceiving your energy makes me relax even more. So
yeah. And how much more can we relax into? Because the more that we can relax, and I see from working closely with Gary, he just doesn't get stressed out about things. It's just like, okay, cool. What's required? Okay. He'll ask a question. Okay. What do I need to be aware of? What do I need to change here? He'll get the awareness. Okay. I need to change this. And then he'll change it and then see what that creates. And it took me a long time to get that, where it's okay, choose something and then see what it creates. And if it's something awesome, how does it get any better than that? If it's something not so awesome, then it's okay, cool. What would I like to create now? And it's like in every 10 seconds, we have the ability to change anything. So it's like, whether it's our financial situation, whether it's intimate relationships, whether it's friendships, whatever it may be, we have the power to choose. And okay, cool. I chose something that didn't work so well. Awesome. Don't go into judgment. What's possible now?
Yeah, totally that. And we can see that in our private lives. If people watching this or listening to this in the future, please look at yourselves where you're going into that that thing of self-judgment, and please do not start judging the judgment and go into that.
Yeah, and it ends up being a downward spiral that we can very easily get into, but it's also, if we can very easily get into it, we can very easily get out of it as well. Actually acknowledge, okay, cool. I was creating whatever this thing was, and it's cool. I'd like to create something different now. Awesome. What will be fun for me to create?
Yes, exactly. And that's, I guess, when the beauty starts showing up even more, when we're willing to have our barriers down.
Yeah. And just receive. And it's been interesting. The last couple of months I've been traveling quite a bit, facilitating classes, and it's been awesome. It's like, how does it get any better than this? Every day is an adventure, but also seeing what they create, because you don't know what the creations are going to create. Like the first day that we did the bars in the park, there was all this energy of like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, oh, this is terrible, this is mean. And I was like, wow, it was like really like quite dogged, like, and I was kind of like, so I sat with it for a couple of hours and I was like, okay, does this create a greater world? And I was like, yes. And I was getting a yes that it does. And it was like, do I want to do it? Yes. And I was like, okay, will it be fun? Yes. And I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do it. And I was like, choice trumps all. So like when you actually choose something, so I chose to do it, and then we had the most incredible session. So we're underneath these big, huge trees. You could perceive the trees contributing, just the undefined beauty of everything. The park we were in, fantastic. The people that came over were fantastic. And it started with a relatively small number, and then it grew. And then we went to Hyde Park, which is like a huge park in London. And we were just like, there was loads of facilitators, there was loads of people there, and everything just grew. And it just, that energy continues to grow and grow. And all you need to do is kind of just follow the whispers and let go of the judgment of trying to get it right or trying to get it wrong, and just say, okay, what does that create? Awesome. Does it create something cool for the world? Brilliant. How does it get any better than that? And if it's something, okay, create something funky. Okay, what else is possible?
Yeah. So well put. So well put. And if any of you guys listening to this or watching this don't know what Access Consciousness is, it's basically like a huge toolbox of magnificent tools that we've been both using here. And it's basically questions, it's not answers. So not going into conclusions. And also with that, I would like to invite you to close this podcast, Paul, to say more about the beauty of the question, of being in the question.
Wow.
Which you already answered a little bit, but...
No, great question, yeah. I know Leonardo da Vinci was asked if he was given a project or a commission, what would he do? And he said he'd spend 90% of his time asking questions. So it was, I remember seeing a show about him, and he was watching a woman washing clothes, and he came back out of it, and one of his friends was that was kind of boring, and he was like, no, do you not see it? How does the sunlight affect the water? How does the soap interact with the water? How does the soap interact with the sun? How does the bubbles interact with the fabric? How does the fabric interact with her skin? Everything was a question. And the guy was just completely mesmerized. He was like, wow, I never thought of that. And they watched it for maybe 15 minutes, but everything was a question. The interaction of everything. And the more curious you get about life and see, okay, what can so Steve Jobs says, when you squeeze a toothpaste tube, something's got to come out the other end. So it's like, okay, Get curious about what you're creating, and okay, what would I really like to create here? What would be super fun for me? What would change the world? And what have I come here to be and do?
Wow. Thank you so much for that. I mean, this is massive, and I think I would love to leave it to that, because it's a beautiful energy. It's really, truly a beautiful energy. Well, thank you, Paul. And everybody, I hope you really enjoyed this as much as I did, because this was a potent one and a very beautiful one. And how much more beauty can we all invite into our lives? Thank you so much, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Paul.